Good morning, I'm Tanya McRae. Welcome to In Focus SoCal, where we take a closer look at the issues that matter to you. The ongoing COVID-19 pandemic has touched nearly every aspect of our lives, and there is a trickle-down effect. Since March, millions of Californians have lost their jobs, and that in turn has impacted their ability to pay their mortgage or their rent. Tenant activist groups across the state have urged city and county leaders to cancel rents for those who are having trouble making ends meet. Most recently in Los Angeles, demonstrators with the Cancel Rent Collective called on the County Board of Supervisors to step in.
People are out here because of no choice of their own. Nobody chooses this. This is a circumstance that's way out of their hands. They couldn't help what happened.
We are asking to forgive the rents and mortgages and let the banks deal with that stress because they have the resources to deal with that.
My first guest today is State Senator Stephen Bradford, who worked on legislation that is protecting tenants and small landlords struggling due to COVID-19. Tell us about AB 3088, which you helped write and was signed by the governor earlier this fall. How does it protect tenants?
Yes, I am the joint author of AB 3088. It was a collaborative effort that was started after we returned back to the legislature after the break due to COVID. And I was appointed as co-chair with Senator Hertzberg over the Economic Recovery Task Force. And one of the number one issues that was discussed or raised as the greatest concern was one, tenant protection, making sure that they remained housed, but also our landlords, our small mom and pop operators, making sure that they remained whole as well. And this measure provides rent forgiveness up until the 1st of next year, but it requires the tenant to make a good faith effort of paying the rent. They must sign a document under penalty of perjury that their income has been impacted by COVID, and in doing so, they are afforded a requirement of paying 25% of that rent, with the balance of that rent coming due January of 2021. It's not a forgiving. It doesn't forgive the rent whatsoever. It just allows a time period to pay that. Tenants will owe back rent, but the law protects people who experience severe financial difficulty, and individuals who are not low income, but they can make a case as well. They can qualify too for this rent forgiveness.
AB 3088 also provides small landlords some protections. Can you explain?
Many times we heard from folks and reminding us that many landlords are not these mega corporations. They're mom and pop individuals, our frontline workers, our teachers, our school bus drivers who have just made an investment, and this is their retirement, it's their kids' college fund, and or it's housing for family as well. And so we want to make sure that they were protected, and it provides the landlords with some procedural protections, not as much financial protection as we would like, but some procedural protections from becoming delinquent on their mortgages, I should say, under the CARES Act. And the CARES Act is a 12-month mortgage forbearance for federally backed loans, and a 6-month initial period plus, and a 6 additional months upon request. And it provides protection again for our small landlords that have 1 to 4 units.
Senator, you also wrote the first bill in the nation to help renters improve their credit scores when they make payments on time. How did this bill come about?
We had seen from, just from history that many times if you're late on your rent, you're penalized, but if you pay on time, you very rarely are rewarded. Well, not say very rarely, you're never rewarded for it. And this is the first bill, as you stated, in the nation that now provides the opportunity for landlords and renters of subsidized rental properties of 50 units or less to report those on-time payments. We've heard of stories of tenants who've lived in a location for 20, 30 years, paid their rent on time, but they have nothing to show for it. And so this allows, it's a voluntary program with the landlord and the tenant, and the tenant is expected to pay $10 a month toward those fees for processing those reports. I think it's a fair compromise for those tenants, and we've got some of our landlords, like I say, 50 units or less in subsidized units to sign up for this. We had a lot of pushback from a lot of the landlords stating, oh, this is going to cost us additional money. But at the end of the day, it helps, those tenants and many of them who pay their rent on time for years on end and show no benefit. And we know the way of getting out of poverty is through good credit. It's a way of moving toward home ownership, but you can't do it if you don't have credit.
That is such a creative way to add some benefit to being a renter. I've never seen that before.
Again, as you stated, it's the first in the nation. We're proud of California leading the way in this area, and hopefully other states will come on board. But also we hope we can expand it beyond those 50 units or less that are subsidized, and we would hope all landlords would see the benefit in this.
Well, Senator, I will say on behalf of renters across Los Angeles, thank you for what you are doing to try to help folks during these difficult times. And I hope these legislations you're putting into place benefit many, many people.